Here we go. All ones. Today we're cooking Maque Choux, otherwise known as fake cabbage. So instead of cabbage, we got corn. You're going to want corn on the cob, not any of that canned corn. If you're using canned corn, just stop cooking. So we'll show you how to get the corn off the cob in this video. You're going to need some shrimp. Tasso. This is tasso I made myself. Tasso is a handmade from a pork shoulder, heavily seasoned. Some andouille sausage, made that myself. Some Cajun seasoning, made that myself. If you're using Tony's Saturais, you're not going to need salt, but I don't put salt in my Cajun seasoning, so I can adjust the salt, so I'm going to add salt. Some steak sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, some Trinity, which is onion, bell pepper, and celery, 2 sticks of celery, garlic, and a drinking beer. Oh, and I forgot to mention the shrimp stock back there. I made that myself too. All right, so to cook, take the corn off. You just see my little setup with the little tiny bowl and the big bowl. You can use any kind. You can use a regular sized bowl and a big bowl too, and just cut it off. You see that little squirt of juice? That's what you really want because it has a lot of sugars in it. And you really want to get this tasting good, you got to cook all the sugars out of the corn. So you take a little Cajun seasoning, throw it on your shrimp. Mix it up. Needs a little bit more. You really want to get them all coated. There we go. Now you just throw that in the refrigerator. I'm just heating up some bacon grease that I had left over from breakfast. And I'm going to brown all my meat in there and render even more fat out of them. Basically just kind of cooking it a little bit, get a little bit more of the, render out the fats in the meat so you can cook everything else and everything. Normally if I didn't have bacon grease left over from breakfast, I would have cooked a few strips of bacon and added that to the meat. Oh man, that's already starting to smell good. What's also good is it has a lot of that browning left over from when I cooked the bacon, when that stuff that sticks on the bottom when you cook meat. Yeah, that's going to add a lot of flavor to everything too. Yeah, I'll cook this down and I'll show you guys what happens when everything's done. We pretty much rendered out all the fats. Just not that long, just enough to really cook, kind of cook everything and let those fats render out. That's all you want. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out all the meat. Make sure it drains really good. You want to cook everything in all these fats. Add some andouille sausage fat, some tasso fat, and some bacon fat. So that's just nothing but flavor right there. And now that we've got all the meat out, we're going to throw the corn in. And we're going to cook all this corn and all that fat we rendered out of the meats. If you end up not having enough fat, just throw in some little extra cooking oil or butter, it's all good. And you really want all that milk in there because that's going to add sweetness to everything. And we're going to try, we're really going to cook this till the corn is a golden brown. And that golden brown will caramelize those natural sugars of the corn. And those natural sugars, once they caramelize, will add a good sweetness. So this dish will be sweet and savory when you're done with it. And again, you can't use canned corn because canned corn doesn't have those natural sugars because they've been sitting in that brine for so long. And all the sugars have been washed out. So you got to use corn on the cob. If it comes straight out of the garden, it's even better. We're really starting to get it to caramelize now. See how I'm getting it on the bottom of my spoon? That's real good. It's starting to get to the golden brown color, but we're not quite there yet. Yeah, that stuff is good. That's your flavor gold right there. The stuff that's stuck to the spoon. Right about here, throw our Trinity in. This will help deglaze everything. And whenever you cut Trinity, you want to throw just a little bit of salt on it to help it cook a little faster. Not enough to really season it, but just enough to get it to cook down. And you want to do it right before the corn is done cooking, because your corn's going to continue to cook in all this. So we'll cook down the Trinity. What we're going to do now is make a little center in the middle of it all, a little pool. Throw our garlic in. Going to kind of flesh cook our garlic a little bit. Don't want to waste any of that garlic. Just too much garlic is just enough. Once you really start smelling it, you just want to mix it all in there. The garlic will cook fast. And if you overcook your garlic, it's gonna get bitter. Let's throw our meat in. Yep, just mix it up. The reason you throw that garlic in before you throw the meat and not at the same time is when you throw the meat in and mix it up, it'll mix up that garlic and get it really throughout the entire dish. It'll flavor it all with that garlic. Alright, now that we got it mixed up really good, we're going to take our shrimp stock. It's about 2 cups. So now we're going to let this kind of simmer, bring it to a boil and drop the temperature and let it simmer until it completely reduces all that shrimp stock. This is also when you want to throw in your Cajun seasoning. Let's get that so you guys can see it. That may have been too much, but you know what? There's never too much seasoning. Some Worcestershire sauce. And a little bit of steak sauce. I learned this from watching Justin Williams. So anybody wants to they say me about that, go talk to him. And a little salt. Oop, shit. I'll let that out later. Right, I think we got it mixed up rather well. You don't need to cover it because you want all this stuff to reduce and concentrate that flavor. Everything off, all that caramelized sugar off my spoon. We got it up to a boil now, so I'm going to reduce the heat to about a low, so it'll be a low simmer. And just let it go for a while. I'm going to give it a little stir too, just to make sure everything's mixed up good. Nothing sticking to the bottom. Here we go. It's all simmering and just reducing down and getting more flavor by the second. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till all this shrimp stock just cooks out of there. Remember to come in and just kind of stir it every once in a while, check on it. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. I've kind of upped the heat from low to medium low. But yeah, you just want to let it to reduce on a low simmer and let it do its thing. So we're just checking on this. See, it's almost finished reducing. Haven't got much left in there. It's not sticking to the bottom, so I know the heat's about right. Just low and slow is all you need. Just a little bit of time. Weird. Almost to the point of total reduction, which is going to let it fry again. That's what you really want. So let's stir it up. Throw our shrimp in. So we just want to let this kind of cook a little bit, get that shrimp going. You can also use crawfish. I just happen to have shrimp. So you want to throw the shrimp right there at the end because you want them to cook just a little bit. You don't want them to cook so much they get rubbery. Okay. So about done. Kind of mix them up, make sure everything's good. I might have overcooked the shrimp just a little, but it'll be all right. Take the heat off. There's still a little bit of that moisture in there, but it's not that bad. Even if I didn't have the shrimp in there, I'd probably cook it out completely. And just serve it up. Here we go. Got some Maque Choux. Yeah, I probably should have cooked out a little bit more of the juices there. Oh man, hot. Hot, but still good. Thought I put too much seasoning in there, but nah, pretty good.